Dr. Paul has been on our screens for years, helping animals, cracking jokes, and never slowing down. At 82, he's still going strong, but now he's opened up about something personal, and it's something fans have quietly wondered about for a long time. No drama, no spotlight-grabbing headlines, just an honest moment that says a lot about who he really is. He's always been straight to the point, but this time, it's not about a sick cow or a farm call. It's about life, choices, and what really matters. Join us as we take a look at his journey from the start and reveal what he finally shared. A childhood filled with animals and hard work. Dr. Jan Harm Pol was born on September 4, 1942, in Wateren, a small village in the Netherlands. He was the youngest of 6 children in a hardworking family that ran a dairy farm. Life on the farm wasn't easy, especially during and after World War II. Food was scarce, and everyone had to do their part to keep the farm running. Growing up, young Jan was surrounded by all kinds of animals: cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, geese, turkeys, rabbits, dogs, and Frisian horses. He didn't just see these animals, he cared for them every day. That's how he learned the value of hard work. He understood early on that animals weren't just pets or farm workers, they were part of life. Then something happened when he was 12 that changed everything. A local veterinarian invited him to help deliver a litter of piglets at his brother's farm. That moment stuck with him. Watching new life come into the world, seeing how the vet helped those little pigs, it lit a spark in him. "I knew right then and there," Dr. Paul later said, "this is what I want to do for the rest of my life." Little did he know that this childhood dream would one day make him one of the most beloved veterinarians in the world. From the Netherlands to America. In 1961, John got an opportunity that would change his life forever. His youngest sister had moved to Ontario, Canada, a few years earlier. To visit her, his parents arranged for Jan to become an exchange student in the United States. He spent a year at Mayville High School in Michigan, and that's where he met Diane Dalrymple, the woman who would later become his wife. After his year in America, he returned to the Netherlands and focused on his education. He got into Utrecht University's prestigious veterinary program and worked hard to become a vet. But there was one problem. At that time, people told him that finding work as a vet in the Netherlands would be almost impossible. "We were told in school that it would be very difficult to practice in this country," Dr. Paul recalled. "Out of a dozen classmates, only 2 of us actually went into veterinary practice." But Jan wasn't someone who gave up easily. He had seen the opportunities in America, and he knew that was where he wanted to build his future. So after graduating in 1970, he packed his bags, moved to Michigan, and started his career as a veterinarian. This was just the beginning of a long and successful journey. The birth of Paul Veterinary Services. When Dr. Paul arrived in America, he got a job working for a local vet in Harbor Beach, Michigan. He spent 10 years learning the ropes, gaining experience, and understanding the needs of farmers and pet owners. But he and Diane had bigger dreams. They wanted to start their own practice. In 1981, they made the bold decision to open Paul Veterinary Services in Weidman, Michigan. But they didn't have a fancy clinic or lots of money. Instead, they started small, right out of their own garage. At first, 80% of our work was with dairy cows, and the rest was horses and small animals, Dr. Paul explained. "We built a little room in the corner of our garage and worked from there until we outgrew the space. The demand for their services kept growing. Farmers trusted Dr. Paul because he was hardworking, honest, and always ready to help. Pet owners knew he genuinely cared about their animals. Soon they needed more space, so they bought land next door and built a clinic. It wasn't a big fancy hospital. It was a simple double-wide trailer, which was all they could afford at the time. But what mattered wasn't the building. It was dedication. Dr. Paul and his team worked day and night, traveling to farms, treating animals in freezing winters and scorching summers, and always putting the animals first. That's how Paul Veterinary Services became a trusted name. Dr. Paul's secret to success. Dr. Paul's practice didn't grow because of luck. It grew because of his commitment to helping animals and their owners. He didn't just treat animals, he built relationships with people. Being a veterinarian means providing service to the clients, Dr. Paul said. I treat my clients the way I would want to be treated. He was never afraid to get his hands dirty. Whether it was pulling a calf in the middle of the night, helping a sick horse, or treating a family pet, he gave every case his full attention. That's why people kept coming back. Over the years, his practice expanded. More veterinarians joined the team, and they started treating more small animals along with the farm animals. But no matter how big they got, one thing never changed: Dr. Paul's approach. His secret was simple: always be honest, work hard, treat animals and their owners with respect. That's why, after decades in the business, Dr. Paul is still one of the most trusted veterinarians in the country. Today, Paul Veterinary Services has treated hundreds of thousands of animals. Dr. Paul, now 82, has spent over 50 years as a veterinarian, and his love for animals is as strong as ever. His story isn't just about veterinary medicine, it's about passion, resilience, and never giving up. From a small farm in the Netherlands to a successful clinic in Michigan, Dr. Paul has built a legacy that will inspire animal lovers for generations. Even as he gets older, he continues to do what he loves. Fans around the world admire his dedication, his no-nonsense approach, and his genuine care for every animal he treats. Dr. Paul has proven that success isn't about where you start. It's about how much heart you put into what you do. And for him, that heart has always been with the animals. A love that started with animals. Dr. John Paul is known for his hard work, love for animals, and dedication to his practice. But behind every great man, there's often a great woman. For Dr. Paul, that woman is Diane Paul, his wife, his best friend, and his biggest supporter. Diane's love for animals started early. Growing up, she was surrounded by pets, dogs, cats, chickens, ducks, rabbits, and even a woodchuck. She didn't just like animals, she cared for them deeply. This love for animals would later bring her and Jan together in a way neither of them expected. In 1961, during her senior year of high school in Michigan, Diane's family decided to host a foreign exchange student from the Netherlands. That student was an 18-year-old farm boy named Jan Paul. From the moment they met, they clicked. They shared a love for animals and spent a lot of time together. But when the school year ended, Jan had to go back to the Netherlands. Most high school friendships fade away after such a distance. But not theirs. They stayed in touch, and over time, that friendship turned into something more. Love. By 1967, Jan and Diane knew they wanted to spend their lives together. So they got married and moved to the Netherlands, where Jan was studying veterinary medicine. It wasn't easy. Diane had to adjust to a new country, a new language, and a new life. But she didn't just sit back. She worked as an elementary school teacher while Jan completed his studies. After Jan graduated in 1970, the couple made a big decision. They wanted to move back to the United States. Diane missed her home, and Jan knew that finding work as a veterinarian would be easier in America. So they packed their bags and settled in Michigan, where Jan began working for a local vet. Diane continued teaching, but she was always there to support Jan in his career. When they finally opened Paul Veterinary Services in 1981, Diane wasn't just a wife, she was a business partner. She helped run the practice, managed the office, and made sure everything stayed on track. Dr. Paul may have been the one treating the animals, but Diane was the one keeping the business running. Their teamwork made the clinic a success, and their bond only grew stronger. Jan and Diane didn't just build a business together, they built a family that stands together. The couple has 3 children: Charles, Kathy, and Diane Jr. Charles, their son, became deeply involved in the family's work. While he didn't become a veterinarian like his father, he found another way to contribute. He played a major role in bringing the incredible Dr. Pol to television, making sure the world got to see his father's incredible work. Today, he works as a producer on the show, helping to share their family's story with millions of viewers. Kathy took a different path, choosing a career in law enforcement. She may not work with animals, but she carries the same strong work ethic and dedication that her parents instilled in her. Diane Jr., their adopted daughter, also became a part of the family business. She works on the production side of The Incredible Doctor Pol, making sure the show continues to entertain and educate audiences. Through every challenge, every late-night call to save an animal, and every new adventure, the Pol family has stuck together. Their bond is strong, their love is real, and their story is one of hard work, dedication, and family. Dr. Pol and his wife Diane are not only known for caring for animals, they also care about the planet, powering the farm with solar energy. Long before solar power became popular, the Pol were already thinking ahead. In fact, they started using solar panels back in the 1970s. "I grew up in the Netherlands," Dr. Pol shared. "With the windmills all around, renewable energy has always been a part of my life." That early connection stayed with him. Now, the Pol have taken things even further. They've invested in 2 more solar energy projects. The latest one is big. They installed around 5,000 square feet of high-efficiency solar panels right on their barn. These special, monocrystalline panels are built to perform well, even on cloudy days. They didn't do it alone. They worked closely with their local energy co-op, Homeworks Tri-County Electric, as well as companies like EcoJiva and CNR Electric. Together, they created a powerful system that can generate up to 57 kilowatts of energy. The goal was to cover most of their own energy use at home and on the farm. And when there's extra energy left over, they plan to send it back to the grid, helping their neighbors too. It's great watching how much energy is being generated just since October, Dr. Pol said. Even on overcast days, power gets generated. I'm looking forward to watching the meter this summer. It's just one more way Dr. Pol and his family are leading by example, one solar panel at a time. From small-town vet to TV star. Their journey into solar power shows how the Pol family keeps growing and adapting. And just like their farm, Dr. Pol's story began with hard work and long days in the field. For years, Dr. Pol worked as a regular country vet. His days were long and unpredictable. One moment he was treating a sick dog at his clinic, and the next, he was rushing out in a storm to help a cow give birth. His job was tough, but he loved it. And according to him, when your hobby is your job, you are never working. But this small-town vet became a global TV star. That's where his son, Charles, comes in. Charles was working in Hollywood, trying to pitch ideas for reality TV shows. One day, he was told to find a larger-than-life character for a new show. Immediately, he thought of his dad. Dr. Pol wasn't just a great vet. He was funny, passionate, and full of energy. His work was exciting, and his personality was perfect for television. So, Charles pitched the idea of a reality show following his dad's everyday work. A production company loved it, and in 2011, The Incredible Dr. Pol aired for the first time on National Geographic Wild. No one expected it to become such a massive hit. But viewers loved watching Dr. Pol handle every challenge thrown his way, whether it was treating a goat with polio or delivering a calf in the middle of a thunderstorm. His dedication, humor, and no-nonsense attitude made him a fan favorite. Now, after more than a decade on the air, The Incredible Dr. Pol is Nat Geo Wild's #1 show. It airs in over 100 countries and has built a worldwide fan base. And the best part, Dr. Paul still loves what he does. With millions watching around the world, many wonder what goes on behind the scenes. How is the show made, and what does a day in Dr. Paul's life really look like? What it takes to film the show. Filming The Incredible Dr. Paul is no small task. It takes a full week to shoot just one episode. And with 20 episodes in a season, that means months of non-stop filming. Every day, Dr. Paul and his team handle anywhere from 10 to 12 cases at the clinic and make up to 6 farm calls. The cameras capture everything, every emergency, every challenge, and every success. Some days are slow, but other days they can barely keep up. As Dr. Paul puts it, some days you can't run fast enough. The filming team is like a second family. More than 22 crew members work on set, and another 15 handle post-production. Some have been with the show since the beginning. They know the risks. Working with animals is never predictable. There have been some scary moments too. One time, a crew member got run over by a beef cow. The footage was lost, so it never made it onto the show, but it was a reminder that farm work can be dangerous. But there are also amazing moments, like the time Dr. Paul delivered a calf during a thunderstorm. The sky turned dark, the rain poured down, and the wind howled. But Dr. Paul kept working. In the end, both the mother and baby survived, and it became one of the most unforgettable moments of the series. You see, Dr. Paul has been a vet for over 50 years. He has treated everything from tiny mice to 2,600-pound horses. His goal has always been the same: to keep animals healthy and to help family farmers stay in business. Even with all his success, he has never let fame change him. He still works every day, helping animals just like he always has. And when asked if he'll ever retire, his answer is simple: not at all. I love my job, and it keeps me young and active. His influence goes beyond his clinic. Hij lanceerde een show in Nederland genaamd In de voetsporen van Dr. Paul, In the Footsteps of Dr. Paul. It follows Dutch veterinarians as they compete for a chance to work at his clinic in Michigan. He's also a best-selling author. His book, Never Turn Your Back on an Angus Cow. My life as a country vet shares even more incredible stories from his years in veterinary medicine. Through his TV show, his books, and his work, Dr. Paul has inspired millions. He's not just a vet, he's a legend in his field. And as long as animals need help, Dr. Paul will be there, doing what he does best. But even the most admired figures face challenges. And for Dr. Paul, fame didn't come without a few battles along the way, some that sparked major debate. The controversy that shook his career. Dr. John Paul, the famous vet from The Incredible Dr. Paul, has helped thousands of animals on his hit TV show, but not everyone agrees with his methods. Over the years, he has faced multiple complaints and legal battles. Some viewers and other veterinarians have questioned how he performs surgeries and treats animals. But through it all, Dr. Paul has continued to stand by his work. One of the biggest cases against him started in 2013 when a viewer saw him perform surgery on a dog on TV. They claimed he didn't follow proper medical procedures. Officials investigated and found he had not intubated the dog, which helps it breathe during surgery, or used electronic monitoring. He also wasn't wearing a surgical cap, mask, or gown. In 2015, another complaint came in when Dr. Paul treated a horse's wound without wearing gloves or trimming the hair around the cut. Because of these complaints, the Michigan Veterinary Board put him on probation. He had to take extra training in surgical preparation and aseptic techniques. However, Dr. Paul fought back, and some of the penalties against him were later overturned in court. A history of legal battles. This wasn't the first time Dr. Paul had faced trouble. Back in 2010, he was accused of misreading an ultrasound on a dog. Then in 2014, another veterinarian reported him for not wearing sterile attire during surgery on a Boston Terrier that had been hit by a car. The Michigan Veterinary Board fined him $500 and put him on probation. However, in 2016, the Michigan Court of Appeals overturned this, saying there was not enough evidence that Dr. Pohl did anything wrong. But his legal troubles didn't end there. In 2018, the state once again put him on probation for how he treated a dog and a horse. Even though a judge said there was no proof that he was negligent, the veterinary board still ruled against him. Dr. Pohl appealed, but in 2019, the Michigan Court of Appeals upheld the probation. Despite all this, Dr. Pohl has remained a beloved figure in the world of veterinary medicine. His fans support him, and his show continues to be one of the most popular on Nat Geo Wild. His lawyer has called the board's actions unfair and promised to keep fighting for Dr. Polis. As Dr. Pohl himself has said, "When your hobby is your job, you are never working." And no matter what challenges come his way, he doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. A new beginning on 350 acres. Recently, at 82, Dr. Pohl did something that caught everyone's attention. After decades of dedicated work, he finally opened up about something fans have wondered about for years. After years of watching Dr. Pohl treat animals on The Incredible Dr. Pohl, fans are now getting something fresh. A brand new spin-off called The Incredible Pohl Farm premiered in January 2024 on Nat Geo Wild. But this time, it's not just about vet visits, it's about farming, family, and starting something from the ground up. The show follows Charles Pohl, Dr. Pohl's son, and his family as they begin building a working farm on 350 acres of open land. This is a whole new adventure. We've seen Charles helping at the clinic, but now he's out in the field, literally building something his own. The idea came during the pandemic. Charles and his wife were at home, taking care of their kids, doing regular grocery shopping, and they noticed something. Shelves were often empty. That made Charles think seriously about food security. He wanted to be closer to his food, and he wanted his kids to learn where food really comes from. So he went to Nat Geo with a simple pitch. "I want to start a farm and film the whole process." The network loved it, and just like that, The Incredible Pohl Farm was born. A new show with a different feel. While The Incredible Dr. Pohl is about quick vet visits and emergencies, The Incredible Pohl Farm is more of a journey. It follows the family over time as they face challenges, make mistakes, and learn how to run a farm from scratch. Charles explained it best. It's more of a serialized show. You get to track the story over the course of a year. In one part of the show, Dr. Pohl and his wife Diane visit the Mother Earth News Fair in Wisconsin. It's a place where people come to learn about starting small farms. They met folks who, like Charles, are excited to grow their own food and raise animals, even in their backyards. Dr. Pohl told fans, "You don't need 110 acres to start a farm. If you want to grow your own vegetables or have chickens in your backyard, it's easy to do." Charles added, "You just need confidence. If you want to start small with backyard chickens, or go bigger with a few cows and land, it's possible. You learn as you go." And that's what makes the show special. It doesn't just show the wins, it also shows the struggles. And through all of it, the Pohl family keeps moving forward, together, expanding the Pohl universe. The Pohl family isn't stopping at just 2 shows. Over the years, they've built something even bigger, what Charles proudly calls the Pohl universe. It includes a podcast called The Incredible Pohlcast, where they talk about animals, family, and behind-the-scenes moments. There's also a full line of products from dog and cat food to pet wellness items and treats. Fans can even find Pohl-branded animal feed and accessories. Charles joked, "I think I'm busy enough." But you have to be open to new opportunities. Dr. Pohl agrees. One of the best parts, he says, is meeting the fans. Just last December, we got a call from a 10-year-old girl in Barcelona, Spain. She loves the show and wants to be a vet. That means so much. And that's what keeps them going. The shows are more than entertainment. They inspire people to care for animals and even dream about farming. Speaking of which, inspiring others is just one part of the story. Behind the cameras, Dr. Paul has also made it a mission to give back and stay connected to his roots. Giving back and staying grounded. Even with all the fame, Dr. Paul hasn't forgotten where he came from. He believes in giving back to the community that supported him for so many years. One way he does that is by supporting Michigan State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. He's donated money to fund research and provide scholarships for future vets. For Dr. Paul, it's about shaping the next generation of animal doctors. He's also active in local fundraisers and community events. Whether it's supporting animal shelters or rescue groups, Dr. Paul shows up. He uses his platform to raise awareness and make real change. People learn from the show, he says, and the more they know about animals, the better they treat them. That message is at the heart of everything the Paul family does. Whether it's on the clinic floor, in the garden, or on your TV screen every weekend. And now, with the incredible Paul Farm, they're inviting fans to go one step further, to grow, build, and care right alongside them. Dr. John Paul is not just a vet you see on TV. He's someone who truly cares about giving back. Over the years, he's supported many causes close to his heart. He helps animal shelters, rescue groups, and educational programs. His goal is simple: to make life better for both animals and the people who care for them. One of the ways Dr. Paul gives back is through Michigan State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. He's donated money to support research and scholarships. This helps future vets get the education they need. He knows the importance of learning and wants to make sure young vets have the tools to succeed. Dr. Paul also joins in community fundraisers and local events. He uses his name and platform to raise awareness for important causes. Whether it's collecting donations or speaking at events, he shows up to support those in need. Through his show, Dr. Paul teaches viewers about responsible pet care. He shows why it's important to love and protect animals. People learn from him every time they watch an episode. His work goes far beyond medicine. It's about heart, dedication, and doing the right thing. He once said, "The more people know about animals, the better they treat them." Dr. Paul's kindness, his passion for animals, and his actions in the community prove he's more than a TV star. He's someone who has made a real difference and continues to inspire others to do the same. What do you admire most about Dr. Paul? His work with animals or his efforts to give back to the community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time.